Well, good morning guys. So today I would like to discuss a topic of whether this girl is free to play friendly or not, and whether you should pull for Acheron if you're free to play. So first advice I'm gonna give is, if you're completely new to the game and free to play, I would advise you pull for Acheron and Luocha. Make sure you get them both, because these two characters, if you get enough items for them, are gonna be really useful. Luocha is gonna stay S tier for a while. He's good at healing. He's not the best sustain, doesn't give you all of it, but the amount of healing he puts is probably the best in the game. Plus, he's very flexible in team comms because he's skill point efficient. So yeah, if you want to pull for Luocha, he's gonna be fine. The biggest problems about Acheron have been, should I pull for her light cone? Does she function without it? Does she need E2? And in my opinion, that's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. Like, does she need E2? You kidding me? Isn't that said for absolutely every and any character in the game? Fine, this gives her crit rate, and this is probably something broken, yeah? Okay, yeah, of course this is broken. But again, chasing eidolons, it's pay-to-play thing. For free-to-plays, it should not be a concern, and she did not get the title of the strongest character in the game just because of her eidolon too. As for the light cones, there is one decent semi-free-to-play choice. It's a 4-star, it's not really free-to-play, you can't make it. The light cone is good night and sleep well. It's pretty decent. I've got it on superimposition 1. That's not pretty decent. And as you can see, your other options are not really that great. So if you have the chance to pull for the light cone, maybe you should consider it. And if I got just 4-star light cone, I would probably stop at that. Now I don't know if it's good at S1 or not. I mean, it gets the double increase upon S5, but I got S1, it's enough for me. And after testing Acheron for a few days, I can tell you she can do some massive damage, even if you're free to play. But the biggest problem with Acheron is not in her light cone or eidolons. It happens right here, when you're building a team. Because the current meta has been just put your hyper carry, put one healer as his sole sustain of course, and give them 2 overpowered harmony characters, or a debuffer. And if you have a debuffer such as Silverwolf, you should definitely pull for Acheron. But even if you don't, well, you should just know a couple of things. This team does not function at all with Acheron, because no matter how hard you try, if it takes her 9 cycles to get to the ultimate, it's not gonna be good. While Danheng sees that as a lot of scaling on his attack, Acheron sees that as no ultimate. So to switch these two out with, I don't know, Bela and someone else who can apply debuffs, maybe not Dr. Ratio but Gwynaifen, this will start functioning now. If this was a Silver Wolf, it would be great. And they gave us a new 4-star sustain, Gallagher, which can apply 2 debuffs per his rotations. Like, once he gets his ultimate, he applies debuffs on everyone, which gives her just 1 stack. But then he gets an extra turn and enhances his basic for one-time use, which also applies debuffs to single targets. And that's per his ultimate 2 stacks for Acheron, which is definitely better than, well, 0 from Bailu, Lynx or any other healer in the game. As for Pela, if you didn't build her yet, now is the perfect time. If the ratio didn't make you build her, Acheron will. As for the Gwynaifen, I'm not really gonna do that. You can settle for one of the broken supports such as Runmei or Sparkle. I tested both and I can tell you both function pretty well. The Sparkle is usually everyone's to-go choice rather than Runmei, but because of her speed increase, I would say that Runmei should be there on the list for which support you should use, because a speed for all the characters means more actions, which means more debuffs for your Acheron. So yeah, while your options are limited, you still have 2 free-to-play options, which are pretty good. And she doesn't require 2 of your broken supports, and if you only have 2, Runmei and Sparkle, that could be quite a problem. So is she free-to-play friendly or not? She might not seem like it, and her team might be very locked on these 2 characters if you don't have a lot of 5 stars. By a lot, I mean the fitting 5 stars, the ones that will apply debuffs. For example, Black Swan, that would be absolutely amazing. If you had her, you could just replace Runmei with Black Swan and use any healer you want. But even without them, you can use Acheron. She can function pretty fine. And in the future, we're probably gonna get a lot more debuffers because of this. As a free-to-play, if you're chasing Acheron because you like the character, you can't really make a mistake because of the teams, because she's just about the best character in the game right now, the strongest one, and even without full Nihility team, she's still absolutely fine. But for those of you who are not only interested in Acheron, waiting 20 days could prove to be better, because on the next patch you'll find absolutely broken new sustain Aventurine, which also does quite a lot of damage output to his follow-up attacks, and the old queen herself, Jingliu. The Acheron might be the strongest now, but just up to a couple weeks ago she was not in the game, and Jingliu and Danheng share the throne. Danheng might be the most damaged, but he doesn't freeze, and he requires skill pointer generation from his teammates, so yeah. Let's come to a conclusion. If you want to pull Acheron, you should pull her, especially if you have low pity, and you should get these two on a bit higher end with Eidolons. You'll have to use these two, there's no other choice if you want to go for Acheron. And if you're stacked with these and want to pull for both her and Luocha, then she definitely pays off because you'll get a lot of these too. And you'll need their Eidolons in order to maximize the output of ultimates Acheron gets, so yeah. So I'll say it again, at the end if you like Acheron, just pull for her. If you don't, wait for the next patch. And that's it. Even free-to-plays can utilize Acheron pretty well. And if you want the proof, you'll get it in a couple of days. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. I will put it in the comments, and I'll leave you the link of my second channel in description, on which I will post my pure fiction or MOC runs, and these ones will be with Acheron, so you can see how her gameplay works. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If it was, please leave a like, subscribe, and as always, see you tomorrow. Bye!